the K.
A2theK.
Welcome to another episode of 10. We are talking today the 10 wrestlers WWE should sign. Aren't we, Oh yeah, Anthony's not here, is he? Because it's his birthday and he's gone away. So which means we're not going to be recording next week. So I'm doing this episode to put out next week just to give you a little weekly dose of A2theK goodness. But yeah, these are the segments we were going to do, and Anthony didn't come around, and then now he's gone on holiday, and so I was like, well, we can't just not post anything because we've been bad lately. We've done that a lot, so I thought, do you know what? I'll crack on, and I'll just do an episode myself. So yeah, this one is an episode of 10 where we are going to go down the list of 10 wrestlers WWE should sign. So coming in at number 10, we have the wonderful Miss Lila Gray. If you are not familiar with Leila, she is fantastic. She's been absolutely dominating the OVW women's scene over the past couple of years. You will have seen her in AEW a little bit, and of course in Ring of Honor more recently. She's been kind of managing the valet for Top Flight, but you know, she's got the total package, Leila. She's got the look. She's got the in-ring work. She's just released a bloody song the other day, so literally all the talent in the world. But yeah, she's been absolutely killing it as part of the baddies. And, you know, she was there originally with Jade Cargill in AEW. And yeah, now she's just absolutely been killing it of late as well. And she just deserves the opportunity. She's ready. She's been ready for the longest time. You will have seen a bit of a journey as well on the Netflix documentary Wrestlers. So yeah, she's absolutely ready. At the minute, she is training in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo out in LA. So she's continuing to hone her skills and sharpen her tool set. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Lila Gray's work, honestly, check her out. She's brilliant, of course. You may notice a pattern with this, right? Because a lot of the people who are on this list, we may have interviewed on the show. We may be, they may be guests, we may be friendly with them. But the honest truth is, we only interview people who we actually want to interview, and for these reasons, because we think they've got a bright future or because they're absolute legends already. So yeah, Lila Gray in at number 10. Absolutely deserves a shot. Maybe not straight onto the main roster quite so yet, but in NXT, bringing a bit of, maybe bring the baddies over or something, I think would be a welcome addition to the WWE roster. So, yeah, number 10, Lila Gray. Number 9, her fiance, Luke Curtis, who we've also had on the show. But like, man, this guy's story is amazing. Again, we've interviewed him before, found out all about his life and what he's been doing, but he's worked so hard over the last few years to kind of turn his life around. He's getting into an incredible physique, and he's got, even his character certified Luke Curtis. Like, what does it mean to be certified? We asked him, and you can't define it, you can't explain it, but it's just it. And I do think he's got it. We're slowly seeing him kind of ascend the ranks in OVW. He hasn't hit the heights that Leila has, so he's not really. He's had a couple of enhancement matches, development matches on the likes of AEW and Ring of Honor and places like that. But OVW is where he's been finding a lot of success. He's had a bit of a feud with EC3 lately as well. But I honestly think Luke Curtis would slot in fantastically down at NXT. I just think he's just got something about him. And we know he's done a lot of extra work with WWE lately as well. He was one of the security guards for the Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman stuff that went down a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I honestly think that Luke's got a really bright future. And I think somewhere, and don't get me wrong, under Al, down in OVW, he's come on leaps and bounds. But I think he could be ready he's definitely more ready than bloody, what's his face? Me and Auntie got a bit of a vendetta against him for some reason. I don't know why. But, bloody Pillman, and Pillman went over there as Lexus King and was kind of, everyone was loving him, and I don't get it. But Luke Curtis, I do see it, and I do think he's just got, he's WWE capable, let's put it that way. So I think if he could get in at NXT, maybe a bit more developmental work, to just really hone his skills and hone his character and hone everything about him, he's just got all the potential in the world, and I just think WWE should pick him up because he would be a very welcome addition. Coming in at number 8, I promise you it's not just everyone we've interviewed, I swear, but Izzy Moreno. Look, she was bloody born in NXT, wasn't she? The amount of history that can be, that she's got with Bayley, the amount of storytelling that could be told there between the two of them, like, you just know it's gonna happen. We will see Bayley versus Izzy Moreno at some point in the future, and in order to make that happen, they need to be in the same company. But it pretty much, but I think 16, maybe 17 now, Izzy, but still incredibly young, but is already the Mission Pro Women's Champion, learning from the likes of Thunder Rosa and Jazz and people like that. So who better to learn from, to hone that craft? But I'm just massively impressed with her. I think she knew what she wanted to do from a very young age. She's worked at it, balanced it alongside her studies, and from watching her in the ring, she's just got it down. The friendship bracelet stuff that not a lot of people are doing, but obviously she's a massive Swiftie and a lot of fans. The younger demographic and the younger girls and stuff like that. She would be absolutely perfect for, just like Bayley was down in NXT. But I just know for a fact that she's going to make her way to WWE eventually, when she's a little bit older. And again, I'd love WWE to snap her up like now and get her trainer down there and just accelerating her development a little bit more, because it's just going to be absolute money when print the money when you're going to get Bayley versus Izzy Moreno. It's going to happen, and it doesn't have to just stop at Bayley, of course. There's a lot of storytelling to be told here, and she definitely has the character of the plucky underdog down really well. So I just think she would be fantastic pickup for WWE in the near future. In at number 7, so we've not interviewed Bryan Danielson, not yet anyway, maybe one day in the future, but you may be looking at me now going, why the bloody hell would they sign him? He's just retired in AEW, and yeah. Wrestlers never really retire. Look at Ric Flair, look at Terry Funk, look at every other, Mick Foley. They just can't. They can't do it. And I understand, being a dad myself, if my son said to me, do you know what, Dad, don't go to work, I'd be like, okay. I'd have no money, but still. But yeah, his daughter has obviously said to him, please stop doing this now, kind of thing. I want you home more. I want you around more. And, with his body kind of breaking down quite a bit, and he's had a lot of injuries in the past. Obviously, his neck problem that we thought we'd never even see him again. I do think he's going to take an extended break, probably get some surgery maybe that he needs. And he is very heavily involved with AEW, don't get me wrong. So, I'm not saying this will happen. Obviously, the title of this is 10 Wrestlers WWE should sign. And again, you may be saying, well, why? Because he's already done the WWE thing. What's he got to go back there to do? I don't think he's done. I don't think his last match, no disrespect to Mox, but I don't think his last ever match should be Mox. So whether he comes back to AEW and has a couple more, maybe. But, you've got AJ Styles going on his retirement tour, potentially. You've got loads of other potential matches. You could get to see Danielson versus Cody, Danielson versus Punk, which we never really got to see for a while. There's loads of exciting matchups. You've got Gable, you've got bloody Braun Breaker, you've got Gunther, Danielson versus Gunther. Like, come on. So imagine Bryan Danielson, yes movement at the Royal Rumble. You'd love to see it, wouldn't you? Let's be honest. So, yeah, controversial one perhaps. Many of you may be saying, God, why would you bring him back? But I just think, no disrespect to AEW, but he didn't. His retirement at all, if he retired at All In, would have been perfect. But if that's the way he goes out in the match he had with Mox, not digging it. So maybe he comes back to AEW, probably what's going to happen. But, if he is going to step away, I'd love to see him come back to WWE, because I think there's a lot of unfinished business there, and I think he could go out properly in the way that he deserves. In at number 6, the one and only CJ Perry, or Lana. And I mentioned Gunther. I don't know why. I'd really love to see Lana paired up with Gunther. Kind of, maybe I'm completely on my own in this opinion, but I think Lana added so much to Rusev and his presentation and his kind of character and stuff like that. And I'm not saying Gunther needs someone, because, he can talk and his presence and stuff is great as it is, but I don't know. I feel like we could do some good stuff there. But even Valet aside, I was kind of gutted when they let Lana go in the first place, because you could clearly see that she'd been bloody trying really hard, and her in-ring ability was improving massively. And yeah, so I was kind of shocked the fact that they just let her go. I honestly believe she's got she's got something, Lana. Whether it is just as a manager or a valet, or whether it is as an in-ring competitor, I just think she's a free agent. She's done a lot of good stuff in WWE, and if she had the appetite to get back into the business, I do think that WWE should go for it, and they should either pair her up with somebody and have her as nobody cuckold storylines with Bobby Lashley and shit like that. Like, actually have her be a really good valet, or if she's got the same passion that she had when she was clearly improving in the ring, get her back down in NXT, get her improving. We had this with Mandy Rose, didn't we? Where she wasn't really setting the world alight on the main roster, went down to NXT, and bam, like she was a whole different thing. So yeah, I firmly believe that Lana, CJ Perry, is just wasted, not in the business at the minute. And obviously she went to AEW for a little bit, but that didn't really work out. So yeah, bring her home, WWE, bring her home. In at number 5, the greatest British free agent on the market, the one and only Lizzie Evo. She's boss, right? You're not just saying it because she's like a local girl. She is boss. She's got something which just doesn't exist anywhere else in any of the other big promotions. She's just got a way about her, probably just for the fact because she's a Scouser, but she's got attitude. She's one of the best wrestlers out there as well. She could literally have a match with anyone and it would look amazing. Her accent probably could hold her back. That is one of the only things I can think of why she hasn't been snapped up yet. And it's like, there's been Scout wrestlers before. We've had what's his face, Zach Gibson and stuff like that. Grizzled young vets didn't really stop them as such, did it? So I'm honestly shocked that Lizzie's not been picked up yet. I know she had time in NXT UK, and it looked like maybe something was going to happen there. They paired her up with Zaya, and we were going to see something. And unfortunately, they kind of closed doors on it. But yeah, I am flabbergasted that this girl has not got a contract with AW or TNA or someone. But I think WWE, get on it, because yeah, she would be a game changer, I think, for the women's division. Would really shake stuff up, I think. So yeah, Lizzie Evo, get on it, get her in. Number 4, Chris Masters. Now, we've seen the returns of people like Carlito. Obviously, MVP came back not too long ago. We've seen some of these are the Ruthless Aggression era, maybe, technically. But we've seen, some of these guys who, graced our screens a good few decades ago come back and actually do quite well. Like, the Carlito position now. And for me, Bobby Lashley's gone. We don't have the Hurt Lock anymore. So we're missing a full Nelson submission that looks devastating, that's all I'm saying. And when we grew up, the Master Lock Challenge was where it was at. So I would love to see Chris Masters come back in, whether it's a Royal Rumble for like a brief thing, because that's what Carlito did, right? He came back for a Royal Rumble appearance, didn't get signed, and then like a year later they signed him. But I just think I don't really know the reasons why he got released in the first place, and I'm surprised Vince didn't bring him back, because he's always had the body, hasn't he? But yeah, I just think the guy seems like a really cool guy, and the fact he's Chris Masters, he's got the Master Lock. That gimmick was great, and he's only got better as time's gone on. And I want to see him come back. Is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, in at number 4, Chris Masters, and yeah, be it the Rumble, be it something a bit more permanent than that. I want to see him kind of get his flowers, if that makes sense. So yeah, bring him in, main card, get him involved and stuff. Chris Masters and Karrion Kross, for example. I love a mirror match. Them two, don't know, feel like they'd have a good match together. You've got the Carlito connection, really close friends in real life. I'm sure they could do some stuff there. Bring him into the Judgment Day as some muscle. Yeah, Chris Masters, get him in. Number 3, an obvious one because everybody wants it, but we all believe in Joe Hendry. If anyone saw the thing he put on X, still feels wrong calling it X. If anyone saw the thing he put on X the other day, there was a fan saying like, "Oh, how quickly people's momentum can drop and that kind of thing," and he was like, "Well, you won't be saying that in 4 months." So heavily hinting that he will be appearing at the Royal Rumble, but he's how many wrestlers can you say have gone on to have chart-topping singles and have the charisma that he has? People love the Rock concerts that the Rock does, but Joe Hendry getting to do his little musical numbers and stuff like that is definitely a fun little gimmick. But people love him, and rightfully so. He's worked hard. He's been around a long time. He's finally getting the recognition he needs and deserves. And yeah, no slight on TNA. They're doing great as well, but the partnership they've got with NXT at the minute, he's a lot of the reason why people are tuning into NXT. So yeah, sign him up, get him in NXT, and who knows, maybe get him on the main roster, get him against Drew, Scottish connection, maybe team them up, who knows. But we all believe in Joe Hendry, so put that belief in him and sign him to a main contract. Number 2, Matt Cardona, like the king of the indies. I'm flabbergasted that WWE have not brought him back yet. Name anyone else who has kind of got himself over, being, the company that got himself over while he was in, weren't happy with the fact he got himself over, buried him, ended up releasing him, for him to then just forge his own path and just reinvent himself and create, the Deathmatch King and indie god stuff that he's doing. And he's just been on an absolute tear. His physique, he's continued to work on that. He's still got the charisma, he's still got the in-ring chops. In this particular image, he's holding bloody PWI, awards for being best indie of the year and stuff like that. So yeah, it's crazy that they've not re-signed him. Like, he's got history there with Cody Rhodes. I think he was the last match Cody had before he left WWE in the first place. So that's something I've always thought that they could revisit with him. But yeah, I'm sure there's other stuff. I mean, his wife works there. Like, imagine seeing Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green on WWE TV together, causing all kind of craziness. I would love to see it. So yeah, number 2, Matt Cardona, and yeah, again, Rumble. I don't know what it is. Rumble's come around, and I feel like it's been a while since we've just had loads of surprises. And I know it's like, oh, well, they want to include all the roster and stuff like that, but with these kind of 5-match PLEs they're doing at the minute, hardly any of the rosters on there anyway. So I don't know. I just think back to, was it 2002 Rumble, one where Mr. Perfect came back and stuff like that. I just want to see loads of like surprises, basically. And Matt Cardona coming back, I would love it. And I think he could do really well this time. Intercontinental Champion, obviously, that WrestleMania moment he had. Why not go for that again? Why not challenge Cody for the WWE title? There's a lot of stories that could be told. Bring back the Hardcore title. Why the hell not? So yeah, that's number 2, which means number 1, Hiko. Now, a lot of you may be saying, but they've signed him. And it's like, but have they? Because apparently he's been signed for ages and we ain't seen him. So as far as I'm concerned, he's not signed until we've seen him. So that's why he's number 1 on this list. And the reason he's number 1 on this list is because he's fucking massive. And he would slot nicely into the Bloodline story. And that's pretty much it, if I'm honest. But he's big. And he's bloodliney, and yeah, I wanna see him, basically. But now, joking aside, he would be the perfect kind of muscle man, I guess, for the Bloodlight faction that we have in place at the minute. I guess Jacob Fatu was meant to come in and do that, but for me, you should have Solo and Jacob at odds, and kind of maybe Jacob goes and defects and joins Roman's side or whatever. But for me, Hikuleo should show up and be the muscle for Solo and for his brothers, the Guerrillas of Destiny. But yeah, we will see what happens there. But if he's signed, why haven't we seen him, is all I'm saying. So call my bluff, WWE. Make him show up, whether it's Crown Jewel or whether it's randomly on SmackDown. Yeah, I want a giant 6'8" Samoan in my life. So make it happen. What was that? Tongan, Samoan, bad at geography, but we want to see Hikuleo, and that's that. So that was our list, top 10 people WWE should sign. Who have I missed? Like, is there like someone dead obvious and you're like, why have you not said them? I know people will be like AJ Lee, and people, might say stuff like that, but like, genuinely curious. Who do you think? Because I was thinking of doing a follow up to this of like 10 people that AEW should sign, and I was just looking at like the indie market and like who's available, and do you know what? There's not that many out there, if I'm honest. So I think I've done a pretty decent job with what I've had available. But you tell me if I'm wrong. Who should we sign? And why should they sign them? Let us know in the comments. For when we do the AEW version again, who do you think they should sign? Tell us. Maybe we will include that in a pod going forward. But yeah, they were our top 10. Let's see if any of them do make their way to WWE. While I've got you, make sure you check out our friends, the Hot Tag Foundation. We have got all the info in the links on the podcast and YouTube. So yeah, go and check them out. The Toil Rumble, the annual donation drive, collecting as many toys and memorabilia and stuff like that. They're going to box it all up, put it into, boxes to give to some very needy children this Christmas. So go and support if you can. If you can't donate anything, just go and give them a follow, give them a share the mission. I'm sure that they would absolutely love that. So yeah, go and check them out. Let us know in the comments, as I said. Like it, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. What can you do with podcasts? I don't listen to podcasts, but download us, rate us. We could do some ratings, not going to lie. I mean, I think someone rated us a 1 a while ago, and that was like because we used to be called A2theK Wrestle Talk, and they were never like, you're A2 Wrestle Talk. And I was like, well, 1, I didn't know that, and 2, we're A2theK Wrestle Talk. We talk about wrestling. We changed that, but the review's still there. So I don't know whether we are 5 stars, but the rest of them have been nice, so you be nice too, because if that review is there, it'll be bringing us down. We don't want to be brought down. We don't want to bring you down with this show. So, yeah, leave us a review, like, comment, subscribe, drop some comments. I said that one already. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.